We've had a new Xbox Developer Direct, and as such, we get a little more of a window into one of my favorite game series of all time, and that is none other than Doom. Doom: The Dark Ages is set to be a prequel to Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal, and this explores the Slayer's origin story. This is set to have the biggest levels in any Doom game so far, with very large maps, very open design, and non-linear objectives, so you can kind of tackle it however you want to. Another notable change is the main addition to the Saw Blade Shield, so this represents a big shift in gameplay style, and it's to be more in line with the original Doom. So we're getting a little bit away from Doom 2016. Doom 2016 was described as run and gun. Doom Eternal was much more jump and shoot. Doom: The Dark Ages is set to be more stand and fight. So what forces us to play stand and fight? Well, there's going to be some tweaks to the enemy attack patterns. This will produce more of a shoot-'em-up atmosphere, something that you're going to have to spend a little bit more effort avoiding the enemy shots. Pair that with shorter range of the weapons that we're used to, and a lot of the design elements are going to force that encounter to be a much more shorter range, and this will really spike up that intensity. Doom Eternal made you feel like a jet fighter, while Doom: The Dark Ages will make you feel more like an iron tank. There are a few other changes that I've spotted. There's a change to the glory kill executions. There's a much more open and more freestyle system. The kills are performed with different melee weapons, and it appears that you can equip those different melee weapons. It appears that there's 3 different choices, and the flail definitely has to be my first choice. Additionally, there are moments in the game where you control a giant Atlan mech and a rideable mecha dragon. Fans of the older games might remember some of the Atlan mechs being scattered around part of the environment. Well, you'll actually be piloting them this time around. But that does lead to one of the, in my opinion, unfortunate details about this game. Unfortunately, there will be no multiplayer offering this time around. When asked about this specifically, the game's director Hugo Martin replied by saying they decided to forego multiplayer in favor of a more refined and ambitious single player. Certain mechanics relating to the mech and the dragon wouldn't have worked out very well in co-op, and they really wanted to take that out of the equation, not worry about it whatsoever. You don't have to be a real hardcore Doom fan to get into this game. The Dark Ages has been described as a good point for first-time Doom players. Lore-wise, there'll be a lot more cutscenes to kind of explain what's going on, put you in the right place, and an emphasis on exploration to find lore items in secret areas. These lore items are said to be a lot more tied to progression throughout the game, and it'll have a little bit more of that exposition given to you without having to really look for it. There will also be an easier skill tree to progress, and one of the ways they're doing that is by reducing all of the different currencies. You collect gold and gold alone. But what if you don't have the masterful skills of the earlier Doom games? Well, this was elaborated on by explaining that the controls are going to be a lot easier to master this time around. In the previous 2 games, there was a barrier to mastering because of the map design and the speed of required inputs. Well, Hugo says, less strings on a guitar is better. A simplified control scheme in tandem with a flatter world design should really alleviate this problem. Finally, one of the hottest details of all, something that has me really excited for the spring, we have a release date, finally. We are going to get Doom: The Dark Ages on May 15th, 2025.